This is Justin on Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022, looking at SPX. We're also going to look at SPY. And I've just been trying to figure out how do I explain all the things that I saw come together today. And so we're just going to jump right in. So let me just start out. You may need to watch this a few times to catch everything. But the first thing that I was really watching as the day kind of started out is we had just some lower highs and higher lows from yesterday, from Tuesday. And then we had a really nice little gap down, pushed down right into our green line. This line's been on here for a while. And then we actually did kind of some little S curves in here, pushed down a little lower, and then kind of did a double bottom thing, came back up, retested with this initial move. We actually retested this as like a double bottom, which is kind of pretty cool. Okay, let me get to the next thing. Then this is an FOMC announcement. Then we made a double top. Okay. And what was kind of crazy is the from where this triangle had been, kind of, I'm just saying, like, the apex was right around this green line, maybe a little bit above it. It was actually pretty much like a measured move from here to here, the same as like from here to here. It was about the same, like give or take, like 60, 65, or no, I'm sorry, was it for it was around 60 or 65 in the middle. So it was around 40 or 35 points away to get to this point and then this point. So we've seen this before where it's kind of like this false breakdown, then a false breakout, and that's kind of how it felt. Because having even this kind of a move down, taking out lows before the big FOMC announcement, it's like, is that really going to hold? And sure enough, we retraced and had a nice little rally, and then just some chop, and then a nice little rally. So some sort of correction. Anyway, I'm not trying to get into all that. I'm trying to hurry along with. That's how I saw the day, at least starting out. And then when I went back and looked at what some of these levels were, I mean, here you can see. So I've had these lines in here for a while, and I'm going to turn some other lines on in a sec here just to show some more things going on. Let me see if I can click on that. Okay. So that is going back to September 16th, 38.40. This one's going back to also September 16th, 38.58 and change. This one is going back to September 20th, 38.75 and change. And then this one's going back to September 6th, 38.88 and change. It was amazing how we ran right into that price and then really reverse it there. Actually, let's see. I'm going to zoom in on, actually, before I change this chart, let me do one thing. I'm going to switch over to the daily. And I'm going to turn this back on with the fibs, just so we can have the fibs on here talking through some of these prices. Extend to the right. Okay. These are the same fibs from this, from before this big day that somehow keep coming into play because kind of like they're fibs. So like we pushed past this one, came back up to the green line, pushed past this one, came right back up here, and then we almost closed right on this one. So close enough that you could actually trade off of this. And actually, I was pretty much trading off of this green line today, thereabouts. So we'll get into that. So that's kind of the framework of what in the world is going on here. And so big move up, and I'm like, where have I seen this before? And so this is where I'm going to change gears a little bit. I don't normally do this. Most of the videos I do, or all of them really I've done, have been in Thinkorswim. But I've got things set up. It's really ready or really easy to see on the SPY. Okay. So this day is Wednesday, September 21st. And this is today, Wednesday, November 2nd. So this was the last time we had some kind of like a big FOMC announcement. And we had the market reacting. I'm like, what's similar here? What's different here? And so let me get into kind of the framework. So I just showed like how things opened up very similarly. You made some moves like this, did this kind of double bottom, retested a neckline, like SPY is very similar in how it moves to SPX. Okay. But most of my videos are on SPX. Rather than messing with my charts that I'm used to on Thinkorswim, I'm like, let me just pull this up in TradingView, which is a lot of times where I'm just kind of tracking how things are going throughout the day, and it's web-based, so it makes it really easy just to kind of play out. So the one big thing I noticed is where we opened where we opened, and then what the initial move was in regard to like the initial reaction. Okay, so we had this big sell off, big buy up. It's like, okay, these are definitely different. Why are they different? Just from candles, just from how the setup is. And it's like, okay, well, from today, we were trading kind of in this range, kind of a lower range of, this big move here, but it still played out as a double top. And in this case, we were at a higher range when compared to this double top. So we had to sell off and then recover. We actually took out the high, and then we did a double top and rolled back down. And so it's like we had to, in this case, we had to get back up here, like do something on the higher side. And today we were already low, so it made more sense just to get bought up and then do that bigger double top reversal. That's what I've noticed. So there's probably more to it. There's probably more to kind of think through. I remember making money on the bear side here, and like in this little bit down here. I don't remember how all this worked out up here, but it was kind of stunning. It's like this just took out the high. Like, what is going on there? And then what I noticed today is, okay, hang on, let me do this. I'm going to ignore all the stuff like before 1 o'clock central. Okay, we're just going to zoom in on each day. Like, okay, so here we are. We start out with the big candle here. Actually, let me go a little further. Let's just focus on the double top. These double tops look very different, but let me walk through what I'm seeing because there are actually a lot of similarities. And this is what helped me play this. So here's the double top, bounce off the 10. Okay, really nice bounce off the 10. Really nice bounce off the 10. Here's the double top here. Okay, this is a neckline retest of this level, thereabouts. Really nice bull, strong bull candle. Here's your neckline retest, thereabouts. Really nice bull candle. High wave, kind of indecisive candle. Bearish hammer. That's where it starts getting different. This candle actually looks very much the same, other than today's opened a little below the 10, and this one was opening above the 10. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 bull candles all the way down. This was like a flush lower, took out lows. This was a little bit of a flush, took out these lows, but if I back it up, there were still more lows. So let me go back to that. So we kind of rewind. Okay, so going back to September, we had more places where we had some intraday support. Okay, let me just zoom in here. I'll just go back to this. So this is where how things opened high on the 21st and it sold off. That selling off created intraday supports. So we had some supporting here, some support here, any of these really big bull candles looked like they could be some kind of support. Okay, today we had this, and then pretty much that, with 3 places relatively close together. You had that kind of thing going on down here, but it had to sell off to get there. And then on its way down, that is where it paused. Well, today we got that initial, so we got the double top. We retested with that candle. We sold right down through all 3 of these with that candle. It's already bearish. I mean, this one took to here to get there. And by that point, we only had about half an hour left in the day. Today, we got to that point and we still had over an hour. That's the big difference. We still had way more time and room to go today because of how this had to sell off first from a higher range. So all this being up here higher had to create a low, recover from that, sell back down to it, and you got half an hour left. Not enough time to still see some things ready to play out. Today, we were already taking out that low with over an hour left in the day. So that's the setup to an amazing way to play today. And I got some of it. So I could have done better. We'll talk through that too. I'm going to zoom back in on this. There's a lot of things I talked through with setups. Both of these days had the we call to what we describe, and if you follow the link and go set up a free account, you can follow along with how we have rules for the 10 EMA strategy. And this is a bull candle closing below the 10. This one is also a bull candle closing below the 10. This today is a bull candle closing below the 10. And the setup can be getting in bearish right here and a stop above the 10. So this would be going bearish right here and a stop above the 10, or you could have played it here by the same stop, or even here by probably the same stop. And so you can see just by playing, SPY on the range of the day, like you could have made an R when it got down here. Okay. Same thing here. It's, you could have done this. It actually was really amazing. And this is how I'm going to talk through this is you could have still been playing it here. And this is what I recommend with options, but you got to understand how this stuff works. So there wasn't really a retest of this level or this level or even this level back on September 21st. But today we broke down here. We had amazing, really slow retest, amazing S curve. It's like, how can you not go bearish here, even with absolute zero, even if somehow it just continues to rally, but everything had already said this is bearish. We've got the double top, we have the inverted hammer, we have a bear 10 EMA, like all the same things from this day. We just have more time. At this point, we're already into about 40 minutes left in the day. At this point, we've got an hour 15, hour 20, something like that left in the day, like all these bear signals. And so I had been in bearish on some of this through here. I think I got wicked out on something because it did continue on lower with the put that I was in, but I got trailed out for a small gain. But when I saw this, I'm like, that just moved above the 10, but it's right back into this zone. Like, I need to short this. So I got in at 410 on SPY. And the main reason I did SPY is I got into the 380 put because we'd already been there. We'd already tagged the 380 price. It was in the money at one point, the put. Moved back out of the money. This was really inexpensive. Really inexpensive. I actually tried to get filled for 0.25. I'm like, this is going to go without me. Let me get filled for 0.3. And sure enough, that filled. And then I can show you the option. But the better play was with SPX. But with SPX, I'll go back to the other chart. With SPX, we hadn't been to, we've been close to the 38. Well, let me double check. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. So yeah, we've been close to the 3,800 strike. We were not in the money yet, but that was the next likely place that it could easily go. And so this candle really pushed through that, and then we continued down lower, trapping all these people who are buying right back into the fibs, like all these things saying we should just continue down. And so then even with the lines in here, so we're taking out, here's the green line, it hadn't gotten a close below, boom, close below. Retest of this green line, boom, it keeps running lower. This was a clear double top here. We got a neckline retest here. We bounced off of this line. It's just like all these things saying, hey, we've had these levels in here. Look at us take them out. Like run up into them, stop nearly to the penny on that. That was crazy. Trap some bulls here. Like everything saying bear, retest, 10 EMA, play, bear retest, these bigger bear candle, like that big bear candle was bigger than this bull candle. The lows were about the same. It's like, is it really going to stop there? And sure enough, it bounced up. And then when we took it out with that candle and then took out the low earlier in the day with that candle and then retesting the green line, it's like, okay, yes, bearish. So I was watching this and going bearish with the SPY. And looking back, had I gone bearish with the SPX, with the 3,800 strike, because 3,800, 380, it's kind of 10 times the size of SPY. So it's not exactly. There's some other things to it, but for just for discussion, it's pretty much an easy way to kind of compare. Really easy way to compare. That's how I usually compare. So yeah, we were running right back down back into these photos. We rejected the 100. It didn't even get there today. Rejected it yesterday. I was comparing, now that we're back in the daily, I was comparing how we opened and how we were kind of like above the 100 back to this day. But the day that I'm looking at like this is very similar to this day. The other thing I would point out is, do you see where those green lines are? Do you see where the prices are? I'm going to go back to what I had um, on SPY. This is what blew my mind when I was trying to think through this and walk through both of these days. I lined up the charts to have the same price. So the cursor looks like it's about the same. So I lined them up. Like this is the same double top. Like, do you see what's going on? Like, look at the neckline. Look at the retest of the 10 EMA. I'm going to leave the cursor there. Same price on both charts. Double top neckline is at 385.44. Like that's where we bounced. Like here, the low on this candle, 385.45, excuse me, on this candle. And then the low on this candle is 385.43. That's 2 cents off. It's lined up on the chart. Like this is what was blowing my mind today. It's like this is crazy how similar. And I have this chart printed up in a folder sitting next to me. I'm like, this place where we bounced was 2 cents away from where we did it 2 months earlier, 2 months back. Okay. Like a month and a half. All right. Like September. I'm saying September 21st. So like this stuff is real. Technical analysis is real. This stuff, like we're 2 cents. I'm going to put the cursor back on because it's blowing my mind. Like the low on this day, I'm looking at the low right there, but it's going to show up right here. Okay. That's what I'm looking at. Can't like freeze it. Actually, can I freeze it? No, I can't freeze it. 385.43. That's the bull candle. That was the neckline. This day, 385.45. That's the bull candle on this day. That was the neckline. Like, I didn't even look at the bear candle. 385.19, 385.30. Okay, so that was 11 cents away. But still, I'm a numbers person. This stuff is just amazing when this happens. And then we retested the neckline into that same range. Like 385.28 is the low in this candle. This one's a little bit lower. Let's see the high and the close. The high 385.71. High in this one 385.80. So that's 9 cents away. So the bull candle that retested the neckline is 9 cents away. So like we were repeating September 21st today with this double top, with this 10 EMA retest, this 10 EMA bull candle closing below the 10. Like all of this was like a repeat of September 21st. So like go back and look at candles. It's like, oh, it's a similar price. That's a similar move. That's similar. Oh, it's like exactly the same thing. So I'm getting more excited about this, just talking through this. So we had even better setups today because, like I said, we had, this, but that was too easy to miss. Then this, we still had all those supports coming in like around this area, and we had very little time left in the day. The time is the issue because the options that expire today need a little more time, and we got more time today. So we have more time for either a move like this or a move like this. And which one did we get? We got the move like this. So let's go look at an option. Like pause the video. It's just, I'll just draw one more time. Okay. So like it's just crazy. So there you go. There's your double top. There's your neckline retest and roll over. Okay. Like that. Here's your double top. Here's your neckline retest and roll over. All right. Like that. I drew that line. That one's a much straighter line than that one. All right. Pause it. Go look at the charts. But like I set it up like this, move the chart around, adjusted where the prices are to make it look the same. Because when I just scrolled back, or it's pretty cool, is I can click on this window and I can hit the calendar and it'll take me back to whatever day. So I put on that day, and this is a Wednesday, even though it's got Monday to start the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in that order. Anyway, came back to this day. It's like, oh, that's interesting. Wait, that's like the same price. Let me line this up between the two screens. It'll just be visually that much easier to see this. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to grab a super quick. Oh, you know what? Can I undo that? Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to grab a screenshot of that drawn in. Let me draw this in one more time. And yeah, I could probably stop the video. And there we go. That. And then this one, like this. Oh, let me get at least a straight line for a screenshot. No. I don't know if I'm doing something funny with my hand because this is not, there we go. That one's straighter. Okay. Let me grab a screenshot of this and then I will go back and show. Oh, I can't do that. This screenshot, this. Okay. Got that for later. Okay. Let me clear, annotate. There we go. We can switch back to this window and we're going to go look at the put. So 3,800 put, way up here at 133, way up here. The 3,800 put gets under $1. It also gets under $1 right here below the green line after we've already had this big move at the place that we should be getting a retest into this bear candle, like just retesting these lows, these open, open and close, that retesting this. And that's what I'm going to show you. So here is the 3,800 put 133.8. Could have bought this for $1. 145 is the low on this candle. And then over here at 209 puts a low at 0.82. I'm going to also show you the 380 put expiring today on SPY. And it has a little bit of different move, but it's less expensive and it's well, let's just look at it. So not gonna let it paste. Oh, I had it saved, but I just grabbed an image, so it's not gonna let me punch it in. W and Y. There we go. So here is the 3,800, and what I really liked about this, it was just crazy inexpensive. So it put in a low of 0.18 over here, put in a low of 0.21. I tried to put in an order for 0.25, so $25, right? To buy one. And it's like, how can you not risk that? And then it wouldn't fill. I'm like, I need this to fill now. This is going to go. And I moved it up to 0.3. It filled, and then all of a sudden it started to run. Like all of a sudden it's worth like 0.5 and then 0.7, and then it's like, oh, it's pushing $1, and it's like, oh, it keeps going, and then it's like, okay, maybe I should set a target at 2. Are we going to stop at 2? Are we going to halt again? Right? Not halt. Sorry. Are we going to run into the $2 price on this option? Maybe not even get to 250 because of that price. It's like, no, this has room to go. This is, we just retested. We were way down here. We just retested. I know I'm looking at the talking about how the SPY moved. So let me go back to how the SPY moved. And so we'd already been down here, $1 in the money basically. And so it's like, we're starting to push through. We're $1 in the money again. Okay, that option's worth more than $1. We keep going. And I was down on the 1 minute chart. And let me go back to this and back to this. So I was down on the 1 minute chart, like trailing my stop tight. I'm like, I don't know how much this is going to reverse or where it's going to reverse, but I'm just going to get stopped out or it's going to hit my target up at 5. If I held at the end of the day, it would have hit the $5. I didn't. I trailed my stop super tight on 1 minute candles and I got trailed out at 3. And I know that's like, I shouldn't have been. Like I shouldn't, if I was on a 3 minute chart, I probably actually would have been trailed out below, no, probably about 3. because this would have pulled back, but I wouldn't have had it that tight. I just knew that this could just reverse and bounce again at any point. I just was looking for, okay, let me get back, let it get back in the money and see if it have a bigger move, and thought it could really just run. Like, these are the ones I love to catch. These are ones I, obviously anyone would love to catch, but I've had these move really well before. So I got it at 0.3, out at 3. So I 10x the option. And so it was a really good move. The better play, let's go back to the 3,800 of the SPX. And you could have bought for $1 or a little less. Same time. And if I had just bought for $1 right down here, would have been filled, quickly moved up way past the $3 price. I would not even had to trail my stop like that. It just went. Like, it would have been pushing 14, pushing 18, where these pivots, or where these wicks were before, not even pivots, but where those wicks were before. All of a sudden we're just rolling. I probably would have set a target around, let's see, if I had time, I would have been in at $1 and a target of 11. And then if that candle came in and didn't fill me at 11 right here, I probably would have moved my target out. Just seeing how quick that moved, probably would have moved my target out to 21 to double it. And then still, gosh, 21 wouldn't have filled immediately. I don't think I would have done 31, but look at that, 31 missed and never made it to, oh, it was the high. Didn't make it to 41. That's interesting. So I would not have expected it to move from $1 to, $40. That's a 40x. But that's what it ended up doing, this option. So I made, I did a 10x. This is a 40x. So those are some of my goals for making some really large gains in this, but I caught a portion of SPY. The better setup would have been $1 risk with the SPX 3,800. The other one I was looking at is 37.75, because this was inexpensive again. This was closer to the SPY price of the 380. So this one could have bought for 30. And then it had a really decent move. Still way better than the move that SPY had, because very quickly it made it to 3, and then that ran right up to these wicks up in here around 10. So this is one that it could have been a buy, and I'm assuming you could have bought at 0.3. The open was 0.3, the low was 0.2. I don't know what time, because I got filled at 210. So if at 210 central, you could have been filled at 0.3. If that was possible, even still, you could have been filled at 1. And, taking it from 1 to, let's say, 10, that's a 9x. So, or that's a 10x, 9-hour gain. So let's just say 0.3 would have worked here, just for argument's sake. If somehow you held that longer than I did with a run up into 3, like it's passing these levels, you probably get out probably somewhere in this wick, like maybe the price up in here, like 8 or something. So let's just say 9 for easy numbers. 9 divided by 0.3. So that would have been a 30 or not 30R, sorry, a 30x. So even that is incredible. Like, to have that kind of a move, just all the candles in a row, expect some sort of a pullback, and then it can continue. That's what's crazy, is if you can catch one of these, and then if you want to take some of those R's and go and buy something over here lower, you have the possibility, the opportunity that something like this, if you can buy at the right price, is going to continue on and continue to move. And in this case, it actually, gave you a run there and then pulled back, and kind of looks like this is kind of like a double bottom and then a neckline retest, and then continues on up. I'd probably be using a different option. So this was a little cheaper. But again, you got to look at what's possible for it to get in the money. And so like the 37.75, I wasn't even sure we'd get down here, but like the 3800 or the 380 on SPY, it's like, okay, we're just at that price. We should be able to come back down to that price again with how strong this is. But if somebody told you, oh, they know for sure it's going to get down to this price today, the 37.60 today, I mean, I don't know how they would know that it would have that kind of move, other than just knowing, understanding charts and how this stuff, retraces all that. Like I get that there's some intuition to that, but there's, other than what I was doing with kind of having these levels in here with fibs, like why would you be saying, okay, today it needs to get to that? It has to get to that level and play an option that way, unless you're doing absolute zero, that you're okay risking that entire amount of that option. Okay, like you have a defined risk, but that's how I would do it. I mean, that's what this was today. It was playing this as an absolute zero. It was looking for, it should hold that level. Yeah, it should hold this level. Let's go. Let's roll. So I think I explained all the things I saw. We'll see if the next time we have another FOMC announcement and look for a double top, something like this, we get this same sort of setup, same prices. I mean, I've had these green lines on here. They cut right through this candle on the 21st. And we were back into them. So I was just talking about these green lines just, last week. And then here we are playing the same double top shape off of them today. It's amazing seeing technical analysis work like that. Things repeating at similar prices. I'm going to say the same price, a few cents off, but the same price. So I hope this helps. I hope this is something that makes sense when you go in and dig in and look at these levels, look at these values, see the patterns, see the candles, figure out how to translate that to options. I hope it did that well enough. Didn't talk about any of the calls. There were calls. So like here's the 3900. We were kind of expensive on all the options today. So 3900, we were out of the money quite a bit. Actually we got at the money, near the money. And then once we did that double top, I mean, this premium got sucked out hard. That is a lot of premium to come out of that option. And then we did this double top here. The high of this candle is almost identical to the neckline here. So that's, even looking at the options and seeing, oh, wow, that's like the same price. Like it just reinforcing when you see things on the options playing out the same as what you see on the, here's the double top. When you see it playing out the same as the ticker of the stock, same pattern, same levels, like there's some opportunities there. There's correlation, there's things that you see the confluence, play it, be prepared to play it. And this gave you incredible opportunities to, so here's that, buying right here up back into the 10, into these lows. And that's when this put was just losing all this value, put in the lowest level of the day. Buy some just as a matter of absolute zero, buy a little bit of something. Doesn't even have to be your full R, but buy something, because it's like, is it more likely it's going to continue on up and take out this high, have that kind of strength, or that it's going to just go sideways after this kind of just crazy ups and downs? Is it just going to stay sideways and just be flat here the rest of the day? Or is it going to keep pushing higher after this much bear strength comes in? Or is it more likely that it's going to roll over? And the options prices are not optimized for that. It's not optimized for chart patterns. And seeing these patterns play out in individual candles, like an inverted hammer or a double top, I don't see that priced into how the options are calculated, but it gives you incredible opportunity when you have an edge like that to say, hey, this is a really big retest. This is a 10 EMA set. This is this inverted hammer. Like, let's play this bearish as high as we can. As a day trade, you can just crush some of these options. Like they can just skyrocket. And so that's what I did today. Bought one down here and it was with SPY, so I didn't get this one, but I could have bought the same thing here. It looks like, let's just say at least bought it 0.5 and flipped it out for 10. Okay, that's a 20R. I'm sorry, that's a 20x, 20 times your money. Let's look for those opportunities. That's what I'm gonna keep doing. Hope this helps. This is Justin. Thanks.